Okay, so that was the end of day one. Today is day two. And now we're going to go over and we're going to clean out some trees in the backyard. So to get started, we're going to put in some beds back in here. I'm going to show you. That is going to be one bed. And when I get the debris out of here, this will be another bed. And Mike is working on eliminating some trees over here. Okay. Alright, so now we've got the brush out of these areas. Now what I'm going to do, this is my bed edger, and I'm going to dig a trench, which is called a shovel cut edge. Okay, just digs a trench around the outside of this, and we're going to lay our weed fabric down, and we're going to fill that with the brown wood mulch. Okay, the idea for the trench is so you don't have to put any edging around this. Okay, here where we're at, the frost screws with the edging so much that it pushes it out of the ground. This is like the black plastic, it shrinks it and it pulls it apart wherever it's connected, or the ends pop up on you from the frost. So it's a pain in the ass with any type of edging. So the best edging that I've found here in Wisconsin is this shovel cut edge. So it's just literally just digging a trench, lay the fabric down in it, and put the mulch in it. That way you can drive your tire right on the edge of it if you like, so you don't have to worry about your edging ever coming apart, because there is no edging. So that being said, I'm going to get to cutting. Okay, so day three. We're kind of got a little overzealous here. Before we started recording, we already cut these out. So these trees are out of here. This is going to be a bed that we're going to put here. And then back here, we completed the bed back here. So this is also going to be probably going to be a bed. I'm waiting on a change order, see if they decide to do that. Anytime you do work on properties, if it's not in the scope of work that you gave them, if it's not in the original contract, like this bed was in the original contract, this was not. This is an afterthought. So I brought it to their attention, and I'm going to have an answer pretty quick on that, and then we'll know more what to do there. So, but for now, we're done with that. I'm going to take a skid steer around. We're going to put the drain tile in up front. So let's get on it. Okay, so now what we're going to do here, we've had a problem with the water, as you can see, laying right down in the ditch line. It's not going anywhere out of there. So what we're going to do is put our perforated pipe down in there, and we're going to run it into that culvert down on the end. And from that culvert, come this way, I'll show you. So I'm going to cut this piece off right in here somewhere. We'll just run it down in there. Then when we get to the other side, we'll do the same thing. You can kind of see the water that sits down in through here, and we're going to do the same thing. That's trenched out. We'll have to do a little trenching, and then we're going to bury our pipe down in here, and then we're going to cover it with rock. So that being said, let's get at it. Okay, so now we're going to level it. That's nice and even, and then when they come with their mowers, they can just stay right on the side of this stuff. This is all going to be killed. We killed all this anyway. We sprayed it, and we're just waiting for it to die, and then we're going to come in with new topsoil and put a whole new lawn in here. So just going to level this up for now, and we'll move on to the next project. Okay, well guys, it's going to put a very short ending to our day here today, because I don't know if you saw it, but it just came pouring down rain, and ground saturated. I'm just destroying this lawn up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off of this. We're going to go do some estimates in a different town, and then we'll be back at it again tomorrow. See you then. Okay everybody, back on the job site today. Now what we've done, we've measured out 4 feet from the house. If you can kind of see where the paint is here. Use that upside down marking paint and just shoot it out. So I kind of blended it into those rocks there. So what I'm going to do is bring this around here. Now when I get to this spot, I've got to stop because we have the gas coming in, we have the electric coming in right in through here. So I can't run my trencher through here. I have to dig this stuff by hand to make sure that we don't break anything or electrocute myself or anything like that. Now we're going to bring this around the house. Then what I'm going to do, so you can kind of see how we're going to go here with this, I'm going to taper this into that rock pile as well down there. You have a gentle curve so that when they come around with the mower and stuff, when they're mowing, that you can just keep going instead of having a corner, you know, which is bad. So, all right, so that's what I'm going to do there. And then, yeah, we'll get this bed trenched out. By then our rock should be here. We're going to get the fabric laid down in there, and then we'll start putting the rock in. Okay, well, now that that's done, got a nice little edge going here. You can run across. I'm going to kick all this topsoil back into the bed area all the way across. Here I had to come out too because I can see the drain that they have coming from the roof. I don't know exactly which way it runs, if it runs this way or if it runs out that way, so I'm just going to stop here, dig this by hand so that I don't destroy that drain. So aside from that, looks pretty good. Now we'll just get our hand shovels and dig what we have to by hand and move the dirt inside and start laying our fabric. Okay? Okay. Alright, so now we've hand dug out where we needed to. And now, if you'll notice, up by the house you see this trench that's in here, right here. Okay, you can't just fill a trench like that with your rock and bring your rock up, because what's going to happen is whenever the rainfall comes, it's going to go down and the water's going to flow towards the lowest point. So right now everything is shipped just the way they graded the house in. There's a trench here, so I'm going to bring the skid steer and I'm going to move some of this stuff back. This little lip that's in here, we're going to knock that off, bring it in towards the house and get some additional topsoil and get it across here so that everything goes away from the house at this angle. Okay, that's the idea. So I'm going to go fire up that skid steer and get to work. Alright, so now we got all this laid out, trenched out. This is the fabric that we use. It's called 4-foot fuzzback. That's what it is. What we call it here anyway. But it's a 30-year weed control fabric. So we're going to put that in place right now. When you put it in, always start right up against the house and work your way out with it. So you want a nice straight line, tuck it up good underneath, like this out of there. Tuck it up tight. And I use these 6-inch staples. I use these for holding it down, and then we're going to be pouring rock on top of this, so it's not going to be going anywhere. You don't have to use a million staples in this, but you want to level the dirt as close as you can first up by the house, and then just tuck it in tight. Get to your end, push this in the trench. You can see where your trench is. And what I'll do is I'll cut a straight edge across first. Then lay it down in the trench. Keeping it nice and straight. So then, you have it all laid down in here nice, throw a couple staples in it, and call it a day. Oh, is that hard? Well, okay, so we're done with that. With that, I mean all the fabric that we have in here, so we kind of show them what we did and how we went around everything. And just tie into what we did over there. So now what I'm going to do, get the skid steer, go grab some rock. We'll just start all the way around the building. What do you think of that? Okay, so normally the guy who does the tree work for me would be up here doing this stuff, but he couldn't make it till this afternoon, so he told me to hook on this and go, and he gave me like a 10-second, this is how you do it, just go. So this should be very interesting to see how this works, so don't laugh at me too hard as I try and figure out what I'm doing. This is a chipper. It's going to be my first attempt at chipping anything, so let me see if I can get this thing started first off. let that be a lesson to the rest of you. Don't ever operate stuff like this unless you know what you're doing. Unless you want to spend countless hours doing one little stump just like we did. I think I could have got farther with an axe. But that's the first one. The second one's got to get better, right? Not always, but we'll see. That looks plenty good. Okay.